Hello everyone, Ivo Maropa again with you, and in this video I'm going to continue talking about this very interesting guy, the very actual guy called Hegel. Okay, and first of all I'd like to introduce you to a very actual notion of Hegel based on this very actual concept in quantum physics called superposition, which is the idea that one has to include in what effectively happened, all which might have happened, which is to say, all the virtual potentialities that might have happened but did not happen. Okay, which is of course the way, for example, Slavoj Žižek approaches historical moments, historical events. He always asks himself what might have happened so that X happened instead of Y or Z. Okay, so this is a very actual recent discovery in physics called superposition. It's very much a hot topic right now, and it's been for some years. And it's our link to Hegel, in fact, because what Hegel called bestimmte Negation, determinate negation, is pretty much the same concept. One has to include what might have happened into what effectively happened so that we can understand it. Okay? Just take, for instance, Zizek's old joke, which he took from Ernst Lubitsch's film Ninotchka, when a guy enters a cafeteria and he asks for a coffee without milk. And the waiter replies saying, "Oh, sorry, we don't have milk, we only have cream. Can I give you milk, coffee without cream?" It's a very Hegelian point, okay? Of course, that materially is the same black coffee, but one has to take into account what that black pure coffee might have happened in terms of addition. Okay, one thing is a coffee without cream, and another one coffee without milk. Okay, so what? Okay, you can sense that the Hegelian notion of determinate negation, bestimmte Negation, is very much close to the quantum physics notion of superposition, where what effectively happened can only be understood by taking into account what might have happened but did not. In this case of a coffee, what might have happened is that it's a coffee with cream or a coffee with milk. Okay, but what did not happen, coffee without milk and coffee without cream, has to be taken into account so that we can understand plain coffee. Okay, plain coffee is only plain coffee by negating what it might have been: coffee with cream, coffee with milk. So bestimmte Negation, determinate negation in Hegel, is very close to what one would call in today's quantum physics a superposition of states, quantum superposition. Okay, so Hegel is pretty much our guy here. He's our contemporary in a way. You just have to take into account a closer reading of his writings. Okay. Another important thing is, of course, the passage from Kant to Hegel. Okay, which one gets by reflecting on the relationship between phenomenal and noumenal. Phenomenal is, of course, the realm of things appearing to us, how things appear to us. It's a phenomenological approach. But then Kant also postulates the existence of the noumenal realm, the realm of the thing itself, or the things in themselves. Okay, the Ding an sich, thing in itself. Okay, which he postulates as how things really are in themselves without our reasoning of them, our understanding of them. Okay, but for Hegel, This gap is inscribed into the very thing itself, into reality itself. What appears to Kant as an obstacle to the thing, it's out there, we can never know it for sure, we are just finite beings, we are talking about transcendent things out there beyond our reach. For Hegel, this very gap which separates us is precisely a constituent part of the thing itself. This very gap is what makes us touch things themselves. So one passes from Kant to Hegel by understanding the obstacle as its own self-transcendence. Okay? An obstacle also transcends itself. It creates an illusion of the thing itself, the very obstacle. It retroactively constitutes its very thing in itself dimension, the dimension of the thing itself. Okay? So this is very important to understand. Okay? Going back to the concept of superposition. Just think of when Hegel claims in the logic that actuality is just like mere possibility. Okay, when a thing is actualized, it appears as what it is, as reality, is actualized, enters into actuality. It has an indifferent moment within itself. It's a matter of absolute indifference that a thing appears as it is. This is again an old topic, an old Hegelian topic. This coincidence of the opposites. This idea that the highest is also in a way the lowest. Okay, the most absolute affirmation of the lowest. You go to the end in the lowest and you get the highest. Okay, which of course Hegel gives another example here of course phallus as the organ of, or better yet, penis as the organ of both urination and insemination, the lowest and the highest at the same time, and you get this motive throughout Hegel's whole history of books. Okay. The immediate coincidence of the highest as the absolute affirmation of the lowest. Okay, at the same time, because the self-affirmation of a thing is also the moment of its greatest, most radical alienation. Just think of Lacan's famous term, the extimate core of our subjectivity, which is at the same time the intimacy, and the externality. It's the intimate as the most external. Hence, his neologism called extimate, the centered core of our subjectivity. Okay, which is another way to say that Lacan was pretty much Hegelian without knowing. Okay, so in Hegel we have this kind of one trick throughout the history of his books, where he asserts the highest, but one can sense that the highest is at the same time the affirmation of the lowest to the very end. The lowest as the lowest becomes the highest. Okay? Or nothing appearing to itself as nothing becomes something. Okay? Which one gets, of course, in the very start of the logic. We have being, nothing, and becoming. Becoming is the unity, dialectical unity of being and nothing. So you get this procedure throughout Hegel's whole history of writings. Okay? So yeah, it's very interesting. I'm not presenting you with any routine, any script. I'm improvising as I go along with my thoughts about it, in order to make it fresh to the viewer. But yeah, Hegel is very interesting. He relates very deeply to Lacan, and the most important passage in philosophy, and I agree with Zizek here, is the passage from Kant to Hegel, very crucial, and he is very much our contemporary, because Hegel's notions can be very close to the ones we are witnessing with quantum physics right now. Okay, so this is another very short movie, very short video to make you think a little bit of these issues. Okay, thank you.